How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Yoshi's Woolly World. Last time, we continued our World 1 endeavors here on Craft Island, where we spelunked inside of a sponge cave, and then we visited Big Montgomery, although it was technically just a regular Monty Mole instead of, Big Montgomery that had Kamek magic, but, you know, it is what it is. If a little Monty Mole believes he's a big boy, it's 2026. I'm all for it. Anyway, instead of continuing our World 1 endeavors at the nitty-naughty Windmill Hill, we're actually gonna go ahead and return to Craft Island proper, because I want to show off some of these things here in Craft Island. The first of which, actually, you know what? We're gonna start out at the Scrapbook Theater. I was thinking of starting out elsewhere, but you know what? It's the technical first thing when you return proper to the hub world, so let's just start here. Scrapbook Theater. View enemies you've hit with yarn balls and listen to music you've heard on your adventure. There is also a Yoshi and Poochie video quiz. So, we could view enemies. Basically, in order to view enemies inside of this theater, you need to at least hit an enemy of this type once with one of your yarn balls. So we can view Shy Guy. We can view Piranha Plant, who's sleeping. Aww. We can view the Nipper Plant, and I believe that's the only one we've hit. Oh no, it does include bosses. Or no, this is just a regular Monty Mole, never mind. Although I do think it does include bosses. We hit a lava drop? That's surprising. Okay, it does include bosses. They are at the very bottom. Big Montgomery. There he is. Alright, so there are 74 total enemies that we can view. Will I be able to collect all of them? Probably not, although at one point I did collect like 800 Pokemon when there were only 100 at the time, so maybe this wouldn't be so bad compared to that. Alright, so that is the Scrapbook Theater enemy viewer room. The next option is to listen to music. So you can listen to any of the music that you've previously heard from levels that you've been playing, or in this case, Yarn Yoshi Takes Shape is also the title screen music, so you can listen to that as well, and you have some Yarn Shy Guys going across the screen dressed as musical notes, which is actually pretty cute and charming. Bounce About Woods, we can listen to that one. Or Sponge Cave Spelunking. Actually, it's listing them all by level, so I think it might. There's the Fort course. Yoshi Transformation. Big Montgomery. Okay, so it does actually have... Oh, and that actually speeds up. I didn't notice that. Oh, that's so cool. It speeds up the Shy Guys. That's neat. World 1. Yeah, it actually has a lot of music here already. Oh, there's the title screen all the way at the very bottom. 65 music tracks so far. I don't think there's any more, there may be, but yeah, you can listen to music. And then there's the Yoshi Theater. I'll go over the Yoshi Theater in a little bit. For now, I want to show off more of these Craft Island locations. So, we're gonna exit Scrapbook Theater, and then we're gonna head to the Amiibo Hut. The Amiibo Hut! Obviously, it's in the name. So, inside of the Amiibo Hut, once you load an amiibo, its design will live here, so come anytime to swap your design. So, if we did scan an amiibo in, which I can actually exit and do now really quickly, just like a lot of Nintendo titles around this time, amiibo support was introduced in this game. And, unlike the Wii U version, the 3DS version of Yoshi's Woolly World actually has more amiibo support. So, let's go ahead and turn on my 3DS reader-writer, and then I need to carefully place my old 3DS down with the NR reader kind of in the same line way. If we press the left-hand button of Amiibo Scan on the bottom left of the bottom screen, and scan an Amiibo, there we go. We scanned in a Mario amiibo to get Mario Yoshi. I used the Smash Brothers variant, but it could be any Mario series amiibo. Alright, and the next one we're gonna scan in, because this is technically a spiritual successor to Kirby's Epic Yarn, figure we might as well go ahead and scan in a Kirby amiibo. Come on, I got it there, we go. I guess I have to wait to actually place the amiibo after I say scan it. There is Kirby Yoshi. Okay. And then, there's actually, well, technically there's 2 more, but I need to actually grab the next one. So, the next one I want to show off is a non-compatible amiibo. In this case, we're gonna use Pikachu from Pokemon. So, the Pokemon are the really, technically, at the time that this game came out on the 3DS, the only non-compatible amiibo from the Super Smash Bros. Series. There are 2 more. I'll go over them at a later time. But yeah, Pokemon amiibo from the Super Smash Bros. Series do not work. Pikachu doesn't work, Mewtwo doesn't work, Charizard, Greninja, they just don't work. I guess it was maybe some type of rights issue, but it's weird because Game Freak also worked on a Yoshi game way back when, so you'd think they would have had that hookup and connection, you know? But it is what it is. I believe I need to look for this last one I want to show off, or maybe I can just save it for later. Yeah, you know what? I'll save it for later, because technically there's a lot of amiibo that I'm going to need to scan into this game. So, let's go back into the amiibo hut. Because after we've scanned in all of those amiibo, we now have them lined up here. So we could change our skin at any time, and we could play as any of these amiibo inside of the levels, which is really cool. So we'll change to the Kirby amiibo, and now we can play as Kirby Yoshi. It's really, really cool that they have this feature, and the fact that it was more expanded upon in the 3DS version, which they absolutely did not need to, and include even more amiibo support. Like, they didn't even need to do this. They could have straight up just had a 1-to-1 Wii U port, but no, they added more amiibo support in the 3DS version, which is honestly super cool, and why I prefer it over the Wii U version, other than, you know, the aesthetics, which suck, because, you know, 240p screen on the 3DS. Nonetheless, the Big Yarn Ball. Can't really do anything with the Big Yarn Ball as of right now. That will come into play much, much later. Poochie Hut. So, I'm gonna save that one for last, and we're actually gonna go into the Yoshi Hut itself. Let me go ahead and turn off my 3DS Reader Writer, because I need to be a little more comfortable here. So, the Yoshi Hut, there are 3 rooms that we can move into by using the bottom screen buttons or the LR buttons, but for me, since my L and R buttons suck now, it's gonna have to be the bottom screen. So we have Reknitted Yoshis, Craft Yoshi, and Street Pass Yoshi. Reknitted Yoshis, swap with Yoshis you have knitted back together. You can save your favorite designs and colors to the Yarn Yoshi amiibo. Alright, so your Reknitted Yoshis. Your first 2 by default are the file select color, as well as Red Yoshi. So, say it with me, in the Wii U version, you could play as Red Yoshi by simply just pressing the A button on Craft Island and switching between your file color Yoshi and Red Yoshi. And also, in the Wii U version, you could play in 2-player co-op in any of the stages. I'll try to show co-op mode off at a later point. Basically the same thing what I did in Kirby's Epic Yarn. I'll probably save it for the very end, to be honest. But yeah, you could play as Red Yoshi for the second player, and first player is the file select color Yoshi. But either way, in single player in both games, you can play as Red Yoshi, which is really, really cool. And then your other Yoshis are here as well, so you have your Flower Yoshi, your Treetop Yoshi, Circus Yoshi, and your Hot Cocoa Yoshi. But you may have noticed, all of these options have different color variations. So, let's go ahead and press Y, and switch between the various design colors of all of these reknitted Yoshis. Yeah, there are 3 colors for each specific Yoshi, and it's really, really awesome. They did not have to do this, but they did it anyway. The Autumn Treetop Yoshi is so chef's kiss. And then this one, kind of more festival-y vibes. I like it. Circus Yoshi. You got, oh, the basically opposite colors. It looks like the Bashful enemies. Bert the Bashful. And then you got this color of the circus. It's so cool. Again, they did not have to do this, but they still did it anyway, and it's really awesome. Hot Cocoa Yoshi. Marshmallow colors added to it. And then there's a green variant of Hot Cocoa. Maybe it's supposed to be matcha or something? I'm not entirely sure. But if you do have a Yarn Yoshi amiibo, there is the option to press X for amiibo. I want to make sure that this is on when I do it. So, we can save to an amiibo. Let's place Yarn Yoshi on there. We need to register an owner and nickname. I think it's going to take me to my menu. Okay, hello, yes, there we go. Let's save to the 3DS. Registering owner and nickname, because I forgot I didn't have this one specifically saved, and there we go. Our registration is complete. And now, my amiibo is now having the green pukey Hot Cocoa Yoshi, which I guess is pretty cool. We could just save it again just to be sure. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. It's been placed. Saving data. Save complete. Alright, perfect. I just wanted to make sure that we had the availability there. Alright. And now, let's go ahead and click on the Street Pass logo, because Street Pass Yoshi! These are Yoshis that have joined you from other players via Street Pass. Yoshis you favorite stick around. Otherwise, the Yoshis will go home after you exit the room. Kind of dark and grim when you think about it, how they put that statement, but yeah, people you pass with Street Pass, they're Yoshis that they've created, or their favorite ones, I guess. You can keep them in here. You only get 10 favorites, though, so you do have to pick and choose very wisely which ones you want to do. You can also block Yoshi, so I guess if somebody drew something vulgar on a Yoshi, then you could block it, which is pretty cool, but again, the Yoshis you don't favorite go away, so you don't really need to, maybe, unless it blocks them from appearing forever. Anyway, your final option is probably the neatest option of them all. Craft Yoshi. You can craft original Yoshis. You can then distribute your masterpieces to others via Street Pass. So this is where the Street Pass Yoshi comes into play. Because you get to make your own Yoshi, which is really, really cool, and then you can distribute it by pressing Y. So your base Yoshi that you get to craft is a plain white Yoshi. It's like if you scanned in a Boo amiibo from the Mario series. Let's go ahead and change this Yoshi. Or rather, sorry, we needed to press X to edit. So we have two different modes to edit our craft Yoshi. It's either easy mode, we can edit anything about Yoshi all in one go. You can also use craft material you have obtained by collecting the pencil patches. Yoshi's design created in professional mode will be overwritten by any edits you make in easy mode. And then professional mode, we can edit Yoshi part by part from head to toe. So in easy mode, this is where those pencil patches you collected come into play, or you could just make Yoshi all one color. So we could literally just make a neon green Yoshi, we can make an orange Yoshi, we can make a piss yellow Yoshi, or you could do some drawing, so you could say, like, you can just make a different Yoshi thing. So look, we just made a creamsicle Yoshi. There we go, not bad. And then these are your stamps, so you can select your stamp, and then you can just make a Yoshi based off all of these pre-made designs. You can also make adjustments by selecting the different colors. There is a color option as well. But yeah, there are some pre-made Yoshis you can go with. Kind of a galaxy/cow Yoshi right there. We got like a peppermint Yoshi right here. Plaid Yoshi. Brick wall Yoshi. There's a lot of really cool options with these pencil patches. It's really, really cool. And this is exclusive to the 3DS version. They did not need to do this. It's just really amazing. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and back out here. We are not gonna be saving. But yeah, you can make your own Yoshi. I would make one right now, but honestly, with Street Pass not really being a thing around where I live, and no conventions really coming up that I'm going to by the time I'm recording this, Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to actually do that. So we're just gonna exit. We're just gonna leave that be. And also now I'm now I'm puke white Yoshi. Hang on, we're gonna go back in because I do not want to be puke white Yoshi. We're gonna go back to being green Yoshi. I did also consider playing as red Yoshi throughout the game, but again, green is just the classic Yoshi, man. You can't go wrong with green Yoshi. Alright, our next option is the Poochie Hut, which is exclusive again to the Nintendo 3DS version. Poochie Dash. Collect beads and head for the goal. You can use these beads in courses. So, Poochie Dash. Poochie becomes his own playable character. We can use A to jump, and... oh, okay. Hang on, we needed to do this. There we go. You can chain jump while stomping enemies by pressing and holding A. Press the down button to slide to enter small spaces. You can get to play Gold Rush mode whenever you get a smiley flower at the goal game at the end of the stage. It doesn't really explain that part, but hey. Alright, so Poochie has exclusive levels that he goes through based off of previous levels that you played. Galloping Green Meadow is based off the very first stage. Our mission, or actually we have the option possibly for missions, but a new mission will open whenever you clear a course for the first time. Without any further ado, how about we hop into Galloping Green Meadow and we run the course and see what Poochie Dash is like. So, Poochie Dash is basically Super Mario Run before Super Mario Run. And yeah, we can just jump on enemies and collect beads. It's actually really, really fun. There's also collectible Poochie Pups. You need to collect all 3 Poochie Pups in order to gain some secret missions here. So I'm at least gonna try to collect all the Poochie Pups. I'm obviously not getting, like, everything in here. Okay, oh goodness, that was bad. Alright, we did get all the Poochie Pups, though. But again, I'm not really looking to completely clear everything out on my first go. I'm just gonna try to get all the Poochie Pups. That way we can see the cute celebration. Aww, look at how cute that is. We do get some beads for completing the level, which is nice. The bottom screen's kind of cool. It has, like, all of our beads we collect there on the bottom. Just to show how much you collect, I guess. Anyway, we're done with that, so let's see what our secret missions were. You've cleared the course, a mission has been added. Try your best and see how you do. See what happens when you load the Poochie amiibo. Yes, there is a Yarn Poochie amiibo, but first, I want to clear these missions. Actually, if I scan... hang on, let me grab my Poochie amiibo. Although it's a little awkward, because the Poochie amiibo is a little weird compared to the other ones. Let me place this down. And then let me... amiibo. Yes. Read Poochie. There we go. Time Attack. So, when you scan the Poochie amiibo, you get Time Attack added to your missions. The Poochie amiibo has been registered, and an extra mission has been added. So, our missions for Galloping Green Meadow are to collect 1,500 beads, pop 3 balloons, pass under the stump, and then the secret Time Attack mission is reach the goal within 38 seconds. Okay, that sounds challenging, but we'll see what we can do. I hope it displays the missions on the menu here, because... okay, it does, thank God. Okay, because I'm definitely gonna need that. Alright, so pop 3 balloons. Okay. Okay, we'll collect as many beads as we can here. Okay, that's our 3rd balloon. Just need to make sure I pop all those balloons. That might have been the stump that we need to pass under. Oh, hey, there we go. There's our balloon. Come on, get the balloon. Yes, okay. And then I think we got all the beads, or we may get all the beads. Hey, we also did get Time Attack. These extra beads, I think, are going to be the difference between us getting that final goal or not. Okay, we did not get the collect 1,500 beads, but we did get a nice little ribbon for completing the time attack. Alright, time attack's cleared, so now we can choose a new design for Poochie. Tap Poochie on the bottom screen inside the Poochie hut to try it out. Alright, before we can do that though, I do need to collect the 1,500 beads, and then we need to show off that Gold Rush mode. There we go, more than enough before the goal in order to get that 1,500 bead goal. Perfect, and there is the Platinum ribbon. Oh, look at Poochie with his crown. Okay, so now that we've cleared that mission, let's go ahead and do Gold Rush. Oh, that looks so cool. Alright, with Gold Rush, it's basically just the same level. Lakitu's just gonna show us, I guess, a cool path that we can do. And it actually is more advantageous for us to get all of the enemies here. Oh, wow. This is crazy. Oh, well, I screwed that one up. Okay, but I think we can still get a pretty... I mean, actually, yeah, we are at a pretty decent level right now. Oh, I should have jumped on that one. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, well, we got the Poochie Pup. We can still, I think, do pretty decently here. Unfortunately, though, I don't think... I mean, I don't think there are any secret missions. I think this is just collect as many beads as you possibly can, which, I mean, I'll still take. Nearly 3,000 beads is pretty awesome. Oh, and look at Poochie with all the golden beads. That's so cute. Oh, so yeah, it's just one run through on Gold Rush and then you're done. Okay, well, let's go ahead and exit there, and then... Oh, wait a minute. Wait, we needed to... Hang on. It said scan the amiibo, right? Is there... Where's... Wait, isn't... It said... Hang on. Hang on. I also did drop my Yarn Poochie amiibo. Hang on a second. I need to bend down to grab it. There we go. Well, this is gonna exit this, ain't it? Oh, no, it leads to the door. Okay. Alright, well, when you go into the Poochie hut, you have your Poochie Plaza, which shows your Poochie designs. For clearing the first stage, we get Buzzing Poochie. And much like the Yarn Yoshis, you can save them to the amiibo. So I'm gonna scan Yarn Poochie. And saving's complete, so now Buzzing Poochie is our default Poochie design inside of the game, which is pretty awesome. And yes, we are gonna go ahead and exit, and then we are gonna exit the Poochie hut. So, another thing with Poochie. Let's just hop back into World 1 really quickly, and we'll go into 1-1. So, let's no power badge this. When you scan your Yarn Poochie amiibo inside of the level, let's go ahead and use the amiibo function, and then we're going to scan in Yarn Poochie. You basically get Poochie for free inside of the levels. Poochie does appear occasionally in a few later levels, but with a Yarn Poochie amiibo, you can just ride on Poochie anytime. And again, he's gonna retain that design from the Poochie Plaza, which is really, really cool. Alright, and yeah, that's just a neat little feature as part of the edition with Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World, where you get some exclusive Poochie designs if you have the Yarn Poochie amiibo. Really, really cool. With that, we are going to exit the course because that is going to do it for this episode of Poochie and Yoshi's, or There I go again. So much Poochie in this episode that I forgot that I'm not saying Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World for the game. Next time on Yoshi's Woolly World, we will continue our endeavors through World 1, starting with Nitty Naughty Windmill Hill. Until then, though, thank you for watching, and I will catch you later.